Updated expert expectations are in for price growth. Could this be the moment non-homeowners have been waiting for, or will they still get left behind as prices climb? Stick around, I've got some answers for you. Amazon Prime can't match these kinds of savings. The best time to buy a home as per Realtor.com is quickly approaching. Stick around, you'll find out how you can capitalize and cash in on some ridiculous savings with your next home purchase. And lastly, San Diego rents are no joke, but thankfully some relief is showing up in the market. But there is more to the market than these welcome signs of relief. Stick around for a full update on the San Diego rental market. All this covered in this week's San Diego Market Matters. I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel to stay up to date on all materials that I post about the San Diego market. And real quick, if you're thinking of selling or buying here in San Diego, there's a link in the description below. You can click on to schedule a time for us to connect so we can talk about your goals. Or you're absolutely welcome to call me directly. That's how most people do it. Now, on to the good stuff. If you've been praying for the housing market to cool down, you're finally having your prayers answered. But don't expect to slam on the brakes. More so, it's just a tap. According to Fannie Mae's latest home price expectation survey, while in 2023 we saw a solid 6% national increase in home prices, we're looking at slower growth on the horizon. Experts predict 4.7% growth in 2024, slowing down to 3.1% in 2025. These are national numbers. So what does this mean for San Diego? Well, let's break that down. We have two primary factors, affordability and supply, or more specifically, the lack of it. Right now, we're short about 2.8 million homes across the US. And that shortage is keeping prices propped up despite stretched affordability. The thing is, even though home prices are still growing, it's not at the neck-breaking pace we've seen in the past few years, and that's the affordability factor there. Here's the kicker. San Diego market fits into the national picture. Earlier this year, it was reported that here in San Diego, we're short almost 100,000 homes. And despite the housing shortage, we're still feeling the effects of this slowdown or cooling off. Market time is up, price cuts are up, and the more concessions are showing up in transactions all over San Diego. But before you start worrying about a big market crash, don't. What we're seeing here is more of a market normalization. We're not talking about prices dropping, rather they'll be growing at a more moderate pace. And we'll use that word moderate very loosely. Now, Fannie Mae's panelists are looking into policy changes that could help alleviate housing shortage. Things like expedited construction permits, zoning changes for multifamily housing, and missing middle developments could make a difference, especially in high demand areas like San Diego. But we all know how fast the government works. Yeah, not fast enough to fix a housing shortage anytime soon. So that supply shortage, it's likely not going anywhere in the near future. Now let's bring this to San Diego. Even with national price growth slowing, our city's strong demand, limited inventory, strong job market, and of course its absolute beauty will keep our market steady. Sure, we might not see those double-digit price increases we saw earlier this year, but San Diego's demand is real and prices are holding steady. So don't expect massive price drops anytime soon. San Diego will very much be the case for continued price growth in alignment with Fannie Mae's expectations, but will probably have higher levels of growth than they are expecting nationally. Now, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you see this slowdown as a good thing or the impending doom of the real estate market? Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, now let's jump into the next topic, interest rates and Realtor.com's best time to buy. Two huge opportunities are coming your way. Interest rates hit their lowest level since February of 2023, and the Amazon Prime Day for real estate is right around the corner. First off, this last week's rates made their way all the way down to 6.11%, the lowest we've seen since February 2023, and that's huge news, especially since we can remember how quickly rates shot back up to 7% in just 30 days after they hit 5.99 back in February of 2023. Point being, we cannot predict where rates will go next, and waiting for them to hit some magic number might mean you missing out on this window. Predicting interest rates is like trying to predict the weather 6 months out from now. You can take a guess, but global events like what's happening in Europe, the Middle East, our upcoming presidential election, or even unexpected economic shifts can trash your prediction before you even realize it. The reality is we're at 6.11% now, but the market is volatile. And just like in February 2023, things can change fast. But here's the thing, it's not just about grabbing the best rate. Timing your purchase is equally as important. According to Realtor.com, the best week to buy this year is right around the corner, September 29th to October 5th. And here's why this matters for San Diego. Buyers during this week could save $14,000 compared to peak summer prices, with 37% more listings to choose from. That means more inventory, fewer bidding wars, and a better chance to find the home you've been looking for. Homes are expected to stay on the market a bit longer due to quickly approaching holidays and school starting back up for kids. In addition, price reductions could hit 22%, which is a significant jump from the usual. For buyers here in San Diego, this makes for a killer opportunity. Even though we've seen strong price appreciation, this could be your chance to get a deal. It might be time to give your butt a break from sitting on the fence and waiting this whole time. But here's the thing, just like with interest rates, this window won't stay open forever. Active listings are projected to decline after October, and that means less choice and potentially higher prices for you. So you've got to be strategic and act while the conditions are in your favor. Now let me hear what your thoughts are on this. Are you waiting for rates to drop more, or are you ready to jump in the market during this prime buying window? Let me know in the comments below. Now on to an update on our rental market here in San Diego. San Diego's rental market has some mixed signals coming in, but I'm gonna help you make sense of it all. Zillow dropped its latest report showing that the median rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath detached home in San Diego County is sitting at $4,300. That's pretty steep, right? It's almost $52,000 a year going to someone else's retirement. Crazy. But rental platform Zumper is right there too, reporting an average rent of $4,372, almost spot on with Zillow. So we know rents are high, but here's where it gets a little interesting. Zumper says rents are up 4% from last month, while Zillow shows rents actually dropped $200 in the same time frame. The difference between these two is volume. Zillow has way more data to deal with, which averages things out a bit more. Zumper's numbers are still valuable, but you've got to put them into context. More localized data can show quicker fluctuations, but Zillow's broader reach gives a bigger picture. Now let's dive into some good news for renters. 34.3% of listings in San Diego included a concession in July. We're talking about free rent for a month, discounts on security deposit, things that give renters a bit more bargaining power. But why is this happening? Simple economics, supply and demand. Zumper points to over 4,000 new apartments hitting the market this year, which is pushing prices down, or at the very least, slowing increases. When supply laps demand, prices come down. Simple as that. But get this, despite all this, San Diego still ranks 9th in the nation for the highest rent prices. Encinitas taking the crown locally with an average rent of $2,680 for a 1-bedroom, while El Cajon is the most affordable at $1,780. And if you're wondering if rents will drop more, experts expect things to stay about the same, maybe come down a little bit. But keep in mind, rents are still up 30% from pre-pandemic levels. So while we're cooling off, it's not exactly cheap. And if more buyers, specifically first-time buyers, start taking advantage of the current low interest rates that you and I just talked about, that will rob the market of renters, thus reducing the demand for rental housing even more, but increasing the demand for homes for sale. Here's your big takeaway. If you're a renter here in San Diego, this is a good time to negotiate. Prices may not be dropping drastically, but the combination of more inventory and concessions gives you some leverage. And that's a wrap for this week's San Diego Market Matters video. If you found this information valuable, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're thinking of moving here to San Diego, check out the video I posted about the 8 things every buyer should know before moving here. As always, I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. I'll see you next video.